And before we proceed, let us have the introduction part of it. I'm Honorable Matata Benjamin Kirich, the chairman of the ADO committee.
I'm Sarah Mutual, vice chair.
Beth Richard, member.
Songok Bridget, member.
Keter Julius, member.
Isaac Mosbey, member.
Silas Home, member.
Uto Trufosa, member.
Lucy Toralane, member.
Jepto Lydia, member.
I'm Darbe Josephat, member.
Thank you, honorable members. I would like to invite the secretariat.
My name is Victor Siele, clerk to this committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Siele. I will now invite Mr. Sagari to introduce himself.
Okay, I don't know whether enough.
Use the mic.
Okay, my name is Zakaria Kipkemboy Oldboy, the acting county agricultural engineer, Nandi. I work at the Department of Agriculture.
Thank you, thank you. I will now request the sergeant to place Mr. Sagari under oath.
I, Zakaria Kipkemboy, do hereby affirm to testify on all matters in question and to tell this committee the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Okay, thank you, Sergeant. Before we proceed, I would like to read the terms of the mandate. The committee was formed by the Honorable House to, with respect to flagship projects, flag and allege non-existent projects as spelled out in the implementation committee reports laid on the table of the House on 17th September 2024 to 1. Investigate whether there was a financial impropriety on projects across all the county departments. 2, establish whether there was a breach of the Constitution or any other applicable laws by state or public officers in the execution of projects. 3, investigate whether the laid down procurement processes was followed in the award of tenders. And 4, recommend appropriate action to be taken against identified breaches and all responsible parties accountable. B, establish the actual cost of personnel emoluments incurred during financial year 22-23 and 23-24 and circumstances, if any, occasioning violation of Section 107 of the Public Finance Management Act and whether public funds were irregularly paid for personnel emoluments. C, with respect to the National Agricultural Rural Inclusive Growth Project, investigate on the following. 1, whether funds were utilized in a prudent and responsible manner. 2, beneficiaries of Narik projects and their physical location. And 3, whether the procurement processes were adhered to. D, with respect to the hire of county machinery or motor vehicles. 2, as occasioned in the project implementation committee reports laid on the table of the House on 17th September 2024, establish 1, the circumstances leading to the hire of road machinery or motor vehicles. 2, whether the tendering process was adhered to in accordance with the procurement and other applicable laws. 3, the actual works done and location. 4, the total amount of money paid vis-a-vis the allocation per project. And finally, the committee is mandated to report back to the House on its finding and the appropriate action. So otherwise, I will now welcome that you give a brief introduction, Mr. Sakari.
The acting county agricultural engineer Nandi. I joined service in 2017. I became acting county agricultural engineer in 2022 April.
Okay, thank you. I wish to state that do you have documents to that effect?
Chair,
I have, but I did not carry them today.
when
Yes.
about that, Chair, you should also guide us on the trace mode. Why is our witness trace so culturally? Does it mean he was not invited to this house casually?
Mr. Oldboy,
Yes,
you know, according to the standing orders,
yes, Chairman.
this honorable house has a dressing code. And maybe honorable members, I will just indulge the officer because maybe he is not aware. And because he is witnessing, let us just indulge him to give us the information that he has, please.
Well
But
guided,
next
Chair.
time, when you are coming to this honorable house, please make sure you are in the. You see, all the honorable members are in a tie with a suit.
I see. I promise that if I was to be called next time, I'll buy a tie, I'll buy a suit. I don't have any of that.
Thank
For the
you.
last 15 years.
But make sure that any time you are invited to this honorable house, there is a dressing code.
I stand guided, Your
Thank you.
Chairman.
So maybe you were invited here to come and shed light on some of the projects. And before the interjection by the honorable member, I was asking you whether we have the documents showing that you are officially appointed to act. Now, for how long have you been acting?
I've been acting since 2022 April. The letter came from the then CO. I don't know whether it is appropriate that the acting letter comes from the CO or the public service, but that is the letter I'm using to date.
Since 2022?
Since 2022, around April, when the former county agricultural engineer left.
And Chair,
Yes, Honorable Bett.
can the witness give us a preview of his personal background on how he got into Nandi County and particular Department of Agriculture from 2017? Was the position advertised? If there is any advertisement that was made before your appointment, your first appointment 2017, and your qualification as well, and experience.
Thank you. My position was advertised in November 2016. Around November 28th, I came to do an interview in the public service. It was advertised in the dailies, the Daily Nation of 2016, around October or November. Then we were shortlisted around 13, it was 13 of us. We were employed 3. When we arrived in the office, I was the first one to arrive in February 2017. And my letter of appointment says I was employed on 1st February 2017, and I reported on 13th, on a Friday. Then in the office, I reported on a Monday and started working alone before the other 2 engineers arrived in March of 2017. So I started working. There was no county agricultural engineer. I was employed as agricultural engineer 2 to date, I'm still agricultural engineer too. So we had a county agricultural engineer who had left for further studies. He came back around 2018 July, and he came to take over the duties of the county agricultural engineer. And I worked under Engineer Kirwa for all that time until when Kirwa left around February or 2022 is when I was given a letter to act as the county agricultural engineer.
Yes, Honorable Musbe.
I think the honorable member asked about the qualification of.
Okay, sorry.
And through the chair, he can tell us about his academic background. And he can also explain to us why. We know in the standard labor practice, one serves in one job group for at least three years, then that is in public service. And then they shall be considered for a promotion. Perhaps he's been doing interviews and he has been failing. Who knows? He can tell us if he's been doing interviews and has not been successful.
Okay, I am a graduate of Wichita University, Bachelor of Science in Agricultural Engineering. I have attended a senior management course at KSG Mombasa. I paid using my money. I have attended an environmental impact assessment and audit course at the University of Eldoret. It was sponsored by the University of Eldoret. I am a registered EBK number 14652, B14652. I am registered with Institution of Engineers of Kenya, G.11083. So I think I'm qualified. Only that Honorable Mospea said, Chair, the relationship with me, the relationship between me and my employer, I would say, is very toxic. I've been in one job group for 7.5 years, almost completing 8 now. Job group K. I'm one of the most poor engineers in Nandi County. I've asked several in management meetings. Even 2 months ago, I confronted the CS at the Department of Education, the sports complex, when the employees had been laid off. But he ran away because I wanted to ask him, when is my promotion coming? He ran away. I confronted the CEC administration. He also ran away. So finally, we were told, go back to your department, handle your issues from there. So I'm still at job group K. The highest amount of salary I've gotten from that time to this day, it's been added around 10,000 shillings from my salary. Job group K, 8 years, acting county agricultural engineer. I'm controlling, so far, projects that are worth close to $1 billion. Kabiet, avocado, Kochengai, slaughterhouse. Cattle dips, 180 of them since I came in. Same job group, same Zakaria, that is me. I'll continue working. I love working for a county. I love working for my people. I'll continue discharging my duties until the county government thinks it is necessary to promote me. I am, somebody alluded earlier here that people who are 55 have been employed. I think if I don't get out of Nandi County, maybe I'll get promoted in the next 10 years. That is when I'll be 55.
Okay, I think the issue have been answered. So, Engineer Sagari,
yes,
you are called to this committee so that you can shed light on some projects.
Yes, Chairman.
And if I got you clearly, you say that you are now controlling projects worth to a tune of 1 billion.
Yes, in the last 3 years.
Maybe members will interrogate you on that. But on my side, I just want to post one question, then I will give honorable members to interrogate you on other issues. Maybe, can you shed light on the stall projects in Nandi County that are under your watch?
I don't recall any stall project under my watch. I don't recall, unless I would say there is time delay in implementation of some projects, especially cattle dips that were tendered in the last 1 year. Otherwise, all the other projects are ongoing. They are they are out of schedule, but they are ongoing. I don't see any that is stalled. But if someone can jog my mind, maybe I'll remember. The projects I am in contract with are over 108. So I don't know whether there is one that is stalled. But majorly, we have had problems in cattle dips of 2023, 2024. That is, most of them have not started, and the ones that have started are slow. The contractors are moving slowly. They are not implementing as we would wish that they are implemented with speed that is desired and the speed that is in the terms of agreement.
What might be the reasons?
You go push a contractor, he tells you, you know, engineer, you are pushing me, and I know there is no money in the account. I have other 2 projects that have not been paid. So why should I go fast in this when I have not been paid the other 2? So at that juncture, there is not much that you will tell a contractor.
Okay, thank you. Honorable members, I will now give you an opportunity to interrogate further.
Thank you, Chair. I have one particular question to Engineer Sagari. Do you know this project called Kapkwong cooling plant?
It is.
And tell us more about this project, the status and the plans you had and the plans you have now.
Okay, Kapkwong cooling plant structure is a structure in Gemelil Chemase ward. It was initiated to be built in 2018-2019 financial year. It was built for 3 years, 18, 19, 20, 21. So you, during that time, we would be told you don't roll over a project for 2 financial years. So when I met the contractor, Gadaland Ventures, who was doing that work, all the other cooling plants, except that one and the one in Kapsabet ward and the one in Sobasongo ward, hadn't been completed 3 years after handing over. So we spoke with the contractor and he told me, I don't have enough cash to complete this project. I don't know what will happen. So I had advised him, you risk not being paid because it may go to a pending bill and it will have a problem. So the contractor, person who was on site, I don't know whether that was a contractor or he was a funder, but 3 or 4, 5 days later, I received a letter detailing that I do not wish to continue the construction of, it is called Gemelil Chemase cooling plant structure, because I don't have enough money to continue. Kindly pay me for the works that I have done. I don't want to continue. That letter is in the file, and the chief officer can provide the letter. So I went and did what we call valuation of the works that had been done. And I valued the works at around 281,000 shillings. Of course, if you look at the valuation sheet of the substructure works and the walling that had been done, the contractor had quoted over 374,000 shillings, over 374. But I realized that there is a term in engineering called front loading. When you are filling the bill of quantities, you can make sure you place a lot of money in the foundation works, so that if you are not able to do the works and quantities are done, it is valued in the money that you quoted. But I reduced from 54,000 per square meter of concrete, or I don't know whether it was walling or concrete, and I used the engineer's rates, and I was able to quantify the works as 281,000, inclusive of taxes. And I wrote a discharge certificate saying, I advise the chief officer who was there then, that please, the works that have been carried out is 281,000. And I showed him the taxes to be deducted, and I forwarded the certificate through the CEO, to the CEO, the finance. And he was paid The contractor was paid 291,000 less 5%, that is withholding 3% and 2% VAT. And the contractor was discharged. To date, we have tendered that work over 2 times. I have handed over the works, but after handing over, the contractor doesn't go back. Same case with Soba Songo cooling plant. I have handed those works over 3 times. No contractor has ever gone back to work. I don't know why, but the department knows that those 2 cooling plant structures have not been completed since 2018. Luckily, the one for Kapsabet was built. Thank you.
Chair,
Honorable Bit.
he's clearly mentioned that it has been done to us. Among those who had visited the site, there are timbers that was meant for roofing still lying in store to date. And that he was ready to do the work, but he was instructed not to continue the work. Reasons not known to him, and that is how 281,000 were paid to him. What could be the reason that this person was told to forget site? And having demonstrated that he was willing to work, those timbers are left lying to date.
Honorable Chair, Mr. Honorable Bate, I have a letter here, and I request to read it. It says, Kadalan Ventures, PO Box 77, Songo. The Chief Officer, Agriculture, Livestock and Fisheries. It is dated 22nd December 2021. Dear sir, request, that is the subject is request for inspection of partial works to the proposed construction of milk cooling plant structure in Jamasa Chemelil Ward, tender number NDCG QTN ACD 079 2018-2019. It says the above subject refers, may I request for inspection of the partial works to the construction of the proposed Chemelil Chemasa Ward milk cooling plant structure, tender number NDCG QTN ACD 079/2018-2019 at Chemelil Chemasa Ward. I am financially constrained, and I therefore do not want to continue with the construction works. Thank you. I have the letter, and I'll request to table it, but I wish that I'm given something to remove the pin.
Chair.
And I give the letter.
Yes, Honorable. Before I allow Honorable Keter, maybe let us still give time, Honorable Bit.
Summarize this way. So you've indeed confirmed that the director made a letter to your office that is not financially the fund that was meant for retendering. Do you still have that money?
For the retendering?
Now that you've been rolling over again?
Honorable Chair, Mr. Bet, Honorable Bet, we did not have money to that project. But 2 years ago, I wrote to the Chief Officer Agriculture, and I asked him to request for 3.6 million for completion or for renovation of 3 coolers. One of them is Kapsabet Ward cooling plant structure. The other one is Soba Songo cooling plant structure. The third one is Chemelil Chemasa cooling plant structure, which it is referred here as Kapkwang cooling structure. It is there in the budget, 3.6 million. We tendered for the works.
Which financial?
Last financial year.
Do we still have in the current budget, or rather 23-24?
Last financial year, 22-23, I think.
Okay.
We were allocated 3.6 million for renovation works to those 3 coolers. 1.2 or around 1.6 went to Kapsabet Ward cooling plant structure. 1.6 was supposed to go towards the construction of Kap Kwong, that is Chemelil Chemase, and approximately 900,000 was supposed to go for the completion works to Soba Songo cooling plant. We gave out the works, even the award letters, even the LSOs.
You've confirmed. Thank you.
I confirm.
Thank you, Chair.
I confirm.
Thank you, Honorable Keter.
Yeah, thank you. We have had the explanation from engineer. So my question through Chair is that do you have any other case like that, or in this manner? That is the only project that you went and assess and pay the contractor as per the request. Do you have any other case of similar case?
We have one for Soba. Soba Songo, up to this date, Soba Songo cooling plant structure is not complete, but it is roofed. It was one sheet missing, windows, doors, and plaster for the cooling plant structure. According to the BQ that was given out in 2018-2019, the works were approximately 1 million. But when we requested for more money, I added fencing, I added grease and grit trap, and I added construction of a toilet. We tendered the works that the contractor did not. I personally handed over the works, but the contractor did not report. We repeated again by handing over to another contractor. I handed over the works. The contractor did not report to site. We have even given it out some 2 months ago. The contractor now, we are in the process of giving out the award again for Soba Songo cooling plant structure.
No, the point is, have you paid the first contractor for Songo Soba?
Yes, we paid and discharged. It was around 261,000 shillings. I mean, around 281,000 shillings for the works that were carried out. Now, the figures around 281 for Soba Songo, 261 for
and the other one is with the roofing. This other one is with the without roofing.
Yes. I don't have the exact figures, but if I give you the evaluation in the procurement file, when I write a certificate and it is inspected, and I'm not the only one who does the inspection, there is a team that is normally appointed by the chief officer. So we did quantification and we forward the payments. We forward into the procurement file, and if you give me 2 to 3 days, I'll supply the house on what was paid.
So, Chair, maybe so that we can move forward. So you are confirming to this committee that it is only 2 in cooling plant. Out of 30 wards, it is only 2 whom you didn't manage to complete.
The cooling plants that are contracted, Honorable Chair, is not 30, it is 29. And 2 are not complete to date. So it was not 30, it was 29. One, Kaptumo Kaboi ward, a cooling plant was not constructed. Cooling plant structure was not contracted in Kaptumo Kaboi ward.
So are you in a position to give us maybe in a brief how are those other ones? What is the state of the others now? Are they operational?
Honorable Chair, at least 20 are not operating because of many things that have not been done. One, electricity has not been supplied to the 20, at least the 20. Number 2, there is no toilet facilities. Number 3, there is no grease and grit trap. Number 4, there is no, the floor of these structures was built with ordinary concrete.
Chair. I want to ask the witness, why are you saying at least? We want you to be very specific. Secondly, you mentioned, secondly or thirdly, why is it that this project, you are changing contractors all the time, are only in one place, that is Tindred constituency, Jemelil Jamase and Soba Songo?
Honorable Chair, I do not have the latitude to change the contractor. The person who changes the contractor is the chief officer of the department. I am only given the orders to say, this contractor has been given work, kindly hand over the works and supervise. So I don't change contractors. Number 2, if a contractor leaves site and has requested to leave and to be evaluated for the work that they have done, the only thing to do is to advertise for another contractor. Number 3, I do not have the numbers, the exact numbers of the cooling plants that are operating and the ones that are operating, because the invitation letter that was sent to me was clearly asking me to shed light on dip and a cattle dip that is called Kapkwang cattle dip. That is the letter that I was requested. If I had been asked, I'll bring. But since I'm a good person and I want to help the committee and help the county, I'll give you facts that I know. There are many that I know of, Ed.
Chair.
Maybe let me finish. So you mean that you are working under direction and orders?
My position, I work under people. I must work under directions. It is explicit. Yes. I'm not a chief officer. I'm agricultural engineer 2, 8 years down the line.
Chair,
Yes,
Chair,
Keter.
yeah, I was still following up. Since you are the technical person in the Department of Agriculture,
Yes.
and now you have mentioned it lightly that some of those projects for cooling plant, up to that, they have not received maybe power or something else. I thought before any project is being done, the visibility studies will be done and advice accordingly. Because if you, the way you are mentioning now that the project was for 2017, 2018, up to date, those projects have never served the people and money has been injected. Now, if it were you, who is to be blamed in this case?
Okay, Honorable Chair, Honorable Keter, I would like to clarify something and demystify a myth. 90% of the projects I handle in the Department of Agriculture, there is nothing called a feasibility study that was done. The only people who do feasibility study is the World Bank. Cattle dips, no feasibility study. Milling cooling structures, no feasibility study. And if I had powers myself, I would not have built all those static cooling plant structures. There is a cooling structure in Narik ward. It is only 17 kilometers to Kisumu. Milk is 70 shillings in Kisumu. Why would someone take his milk from Narik ward to NDCU in Kabiet and wait for 40 shillings for 2 months?
So in this chair, so that I can rest my case, it means that you have not been involved. Despite being the technical person, you are never involved. You are never involved in this all these projects and advisory part of technical.
I have not said I was not involved. I have said 90% of the projects that I handle, there is nothing that is called a feasibility study that was done. I the office in the morning, and I've given a list. Zakaria Kipkemboi, these are the 30 sites of the cooling plant structures that should be built. Kindly develop a bill of quantities. That is practically what I do.
Chair, it is now to the record of this House, Chief Officer in charge of Agriculture made it very clear. In fact, one of the examples he used was the cattle dip that collapsed in Chemase. And he said, we normally do feasibility study. That is what he said. In fact, Chair, if you remember, you asked him, do you normally go and work before feasibility study? He did confirm that they do feasibility study. Now we are receiving contrary opinion from the engineer in charge of department. Anyway, it's not for your consumption, but we are trying to get something. And could you please tell us, you've talked of retendering the pending projects. Which kind of procedure have you used in tendering these projects? Is it RFQs or open tender?
As guided by procurement chair, any construction works or any works below 5 million are tendered using a method called request for quotation.
Are you, through the chair, are you able to avail the stall projects? Are you able to avail those who are done RFQs on the 3 said projects? And
so I can give you RFQs 20 minutes after leaving this place. I go and print and bring it to you, the 3 that I did.
Thank you.
Let me clarify something. If somebody tells you a feasibility study was done, they should show you the budgetary allocation line for feasibility study. It doesn't cost 10,000 shillings to do a feasibility study. These millions, over 500,000 shillings for a feasibility study. So if you do not allocate a budget for a feasibility study, or if a feasibility study has not been availed to this house, a feasibility study is a document which is 500 pages plus. It is not 20 pages, it is not 3 pages. A feasibility study is not done by the county agricultural engineer alone. It is done by very many stakeholders. And even the county assembly will know that a feasibility study has done. The biggest feasibility study I know was carried out for us for an avocado packhouse, milk processing plant. A condensed fashion was used for the coffee milling plant. A feasibility study was also done for Kochengai Chicken Slaughterhouse. Those are World Bank funded projects. County government of Nandi funded projects, no feasibility study. I stand to be corrected, but for the 7 years I've been in the Department of Agriculture, I have not been asked to do a feasibility study. What we did was we took forms and we ticked. We ticked and to see which side is most suitable for the building of a cooling plant structure. That is why the people of Chepkongan to date think that a milk cooling plant structure would have been built for them, which is not true. We went there collecting data. And we visited at least 3 sites in Kaptumo Kaboi and many others, even in Lesos, even in Koserai, even in Sobasongo. We visited at least 3 sites to choose the most appropriate site.
Chair, so as I rest, according to your own opinion, do you think have we lost some resources under all these unplanned projects? Do you think there's some where we have incurred as a county government losses over these projects that are not serving people? What is your take? Are there some losses that has been incurred?
I wouldn't say there are losses, but I would say there's no value for money. There's a difference.
So you confirm?
I confirm that there's no value for money for at least over 50 cattle dips that are stalled. There's no value for money for at least 20 coolers that are not operational 5 years down the line.
Thank you.
Honorable Chair.
Yes, Honorable. Let me first give Honorable Kogo, then Maina.
Thank you, Chair. May I ask the witness, you've told us that there are contractors who do not want to take up again their mandate as contractors, citing non-payment. What might be the reasons as to why of this non-payment? Whom do you blame for this?
In my own opinion, I would say there is systemic failure in the whole of Nandi County. Why would you advertise a project when there is no money? There's a very big systemic failure. There's somebody who has not been paid a cattle for over 1 year now. 360,000 shillings. What is 360,000 shillings for a county?
And so maybe whom do you blame?
I have said there is systemic failure.
Okay,
every other part, every other organ in this county is failing.
My other question, if given the chance to rate this department as an engineer, in a scale of 1 to 10, how do you rate yourself and your department?
What I've encountered, I've interacted with at least 5 CECs in this county. I think we have the best brains in the Department of Agriculture. Not only CEC, not only CEO. In fact, our CEO is the most hands-on CEO. 6 in the morning, sometimes we are handing over cattle dips. We are dosing with acaricides, and I've been there. So,
Chair, point of
rating, I would say agriculture is leading in the
Chair.
No, honorable members, let me give guidance.
Yes, let him finish my question.
Let me give guidance.
You know, I'm worried, Chair,
yeah.
of the statement that the engineer is raising. Handing over a cattle by 6 and collapse in the next 1 week. Is that competence?
I have said.
Okay. Let me give guidance. Engineer, you've been asked to rate the department, if I'm not.
Yes.
Yeah. So
in a scale of 1 to 10 through the chair.
And you should not bring in other departments. So just rate your department.
Agriculture, 80%, 8 out of 10.
That's 8 out of 10.
Yes.
Now, my final question, we have a cooling plant in a place called Tabolwa. Do you know that place? And if you know, what is the status of it? Thank you.
Tabolwa cooling plant was built in 2020. The first contractor did not report on site. So it was retendered, and a contractor went on site. In fact, he had quoted slightly above all the other contractors at approximately 1.1 million. It is not working. It has not been powered. It is on a land that I don't know who belongs to because it is in Tabolwa Center. It is one of the cooling structure that is in far-flung areas from the County Department of Agriculture. I have been there.
So you are citing something on the land issue. What is it about that?
I don't have the exact facts, but I don't think it is on land belonging to the county government of Nandi. That is my thinking, but I don't have the exact facts. And many others, it's not only that.
So maybe through the chair, can the engineer, if possible, to submit documentation on the said? Thank you.
In conclusion, Chair, I know we are about to leave this thing of cooling plant. I know, and I know engineer is very much aware. We do have a cooling plant in Chemundu, Kamgetun, whereby the structure has been built. They have put also the cooler. There was an engineer, there was a contractor who came actually to do some connectivity. The power is there, but then up to today, that cooling plant has never worked. The cooling plant has never been tested, despite the two contractors being on the site. I am not aware, the first contractor was only to deal with the structure. The second one, after the supply of cooler, I saw he was just doing some funny, I don't know how, because I'm not an expert in that area. But up to today, I don't know how much was injected for the connectivity, and not so sure. Maybe you give a brief of what the second contractor was coming to do in that place, and how much did it cost all the works that has been done.
Okay, I don't have the exact figures, but the renovation works for that cooling structure, including powering, which was paid to Kenya Power, was approximately 1.2 million. If you allow me to accompany the Narik team that is coming here on Wednesday, I'll give the exact facts because I'll be having them with me. But number two, the people who placed the cooling structure, I mean the cooler, the chiller, 2,000 liter capacity chiller, it was a proposal of NDCU, Nandi Dairy Cooperative Union, to the World Bank, and they were given 7 chillers. One of them was given to Jemundu Kapngetuny through Tilalua Multipurpose Cooperative Society. If you give, we had a problem of way leaf, but 2 weeks ago, I was informed by the chairman of that cooperative society, Mr. Rotich, that now they have sorted the issue of way leaf, and we can go and commission, not only commissioning, but if they bring enough milk, we can show them that the chiller was working. Any case, all these 7 chillers were pre-inspected and tested before they were delivered to Nandi.
Chair, I want to be in the records. The second contractor, as you purport to have come and do renovation, I'm very much conversant to that place. There is you cannot do renovation for for the building that it was done recently. And I can confirm I have been there. The only thing that maybe I was told I tried to interrogate that contractor and ask, what are you doing here exactly? And he was telling me my main work, it is to connect the power and test this machine. And he was there for the last almost 1 week. Then he disappeared. The power, it is there. There is no renovation has been done in that milk cooler. And here, it's the way you are told, there is some amount that has been incurred. So the question is, maybe as you said, when you will be coming, you will come with those documents, the name of the contractor, and what exactly was supposed to be done. Because even if I request for honorable members that we are here, we visited there, There is no renovation that has been done in that building because the building was done by the first contractor whom he was paid. But this other one, what has he really done?
Okay, just as I said, I'll bring records when I visit. I accompanied the Narik team on Thursday, if you allow me. I'd also want to inform this house that the floor was finished using red oxide. It is now terrazzo. We have a grease and grit trap in that facility. It was not there. We have a soak pit. It was not there. We have a water tank. It was not there. We have electricity. It was not there. That is what we call renovations, and the contractor who was there did it. We have also painting works and tiling works to the offices. It was done by the contractor who left site.
Okay, to rest that issue, you will just you will prove. We shall have a mechanism to prove what you've said. Secondly, I also direct that when the Narik team will be appearing before this committee, I direct that you will also accompany them.
Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Yes,
Chair.
Honorable. I had requested Honorable Maina to hold on, so let Honorable Maina take over, and then to you.
Thank you, Honorable Chairman. I apologize for coming late. Maybe we can pick up engineer from where you just left right now. You mentioned something to do with what you call repair, but you're talking about something that was not there, and something that was being corrected. Because you say there was a red oxide, now there is terrazzo. Is this supposed to be, why do you call it repair?
Anything.
And in any case, as you also answer, sorry for interjecting, is that something that is a lapse on your part, or it is on the part of the contractor?
Okay, I would answer that question in two ways. One, if a building has been built, even if it is only 2 years old, and something is to be rectified in that building, in engineering language, it is called renovations, whether the building is new or not. As long as you have discharged the first contract, even if you are just coming to replace part of a window, that is renovations to that building. Sometimes it may carry other new works. Otherwise, the term renovation may be misleading, but if you go on site, you will find these other works is renovation. Number two, I don't know who failed, but when I came into office as the county agricultural engineer, all those structures were being built. Perhaps maybe the previous county agricultural engineers knows why, instead of doing terrazzo, we did red oxide floor. Number two, imagining that 1 million would complete a milling cooling structure is dreaming. It will not, unless you want to collect milk with jerry cans. That is when you do a building and maybe use the toilet of a neighbor. Or if the site is holding a chief scam like the one in Chemundu Kapngatun, perhaps you would use their toilet. Otherwise, 1 million for a milling cooling plant structure is not enough. Even 2 million is not enough. Electricity alone, 3-phase, sometimes goes up to 3 million.
So now, having said that, so when did you arrive?
I arrived in 2017, but I became the acting county agricultural engineer in 2022. Bill of quantities in engineering is a document of the county agricultural engineer, or a document of the works officer, if it is in the public works docket. So when I came, I took over the office plus liabilities. That is why I'm answering questions of the time. Otherwise, if I were to be strict and say I don't know what, I only answer questions from 2022 to this date, but I've been kind enough to give you information. But
But
before I even became
now, witness, You are not being kind. You are giving information.
Yes.
So what did you do? Now that you arrived and you noted there was a problem.
What I did is, in any subsequent renovations to buildings that were done before, we have corrected, and we have done terrace floor complete, even including Kapsabet cooling plant structure in Kolong. And that is, and including the one that we have in Chemundu Kamngetu, including the one that we have in Cheptere, which was built by farmers. We have done terrace floors.
So you incurred a higher cost, an extra cost?
Yes, we incurred an extra cost.
Approved, where did you get the approval?
The one for Chepterit and Chemundu Kamngetu was funded by the World Bank. The one for Kapsabet.
My question is,
yes.
Where did you get the approval?
To
alter those projects?
Altering a project. I have not altered any project. I have done.
No, maybe let me guide on that.
Yes, Your Honor.
The approval is talking about is the budgetary approvals to carry on the extra works or the renovations that you are talking about.
Okay, thank you. I have said we were allocated 3.6 million in the last financial year for the renovations, and other people call it completion works, to 3 structures. 1, Kapsabet; 2, Chemelil, Chemase; and 3, Sopasongo.
My question through the chair is this. You brought those.
The budget informs what I did. I don't know who brought the request. I don't bring myself. Maybe the chief officer brought, or the CC member. I am not the one who brought them.
Are you aware whether they were brought? Specifically for the ones you are talking about?
Are
you aware?
I'm not aware.
Okay.
But I would, if you.
Thank you. So may I ask you, on average, because you have spoken well, somehow I could be forgiven for thinking that we are having a breath of fresh air, for the kind of officer we are dealing with. But I'm just curious. When the chief officer asked you to do something that is not okay, engineering-wise, do you just say yes?
I don't recall any time that the chief officer has asked me to do something that is not correct engineering-wise. I don't recall. But if I was asked to do something that is not engineering, I would refuse.
In your view,
yes,
those studies, and including probably getting the end game for all these coolers, the many coolers that are strewn all over, including the one in Lesos that is on road reserve, which I would like you to explain a little bit. When the county finds itself like that, and they have in their payroll an engineer, one that is vocal like yourself. So the problem is there, but you're here. How come? I'm trying to put the two together.
Since I came to office in 2022, I have not.
When did you come again? I thought you talked about 7 years.
I have said I became the acting county agricultural engineer in 2022. The person who is supposed to ask questions on why a project is being done the wrong way is the county agricultural engineer, not the people under him. I was under the then county agricultural engineer up to and including April 2022.
Chair, in conjunction with what the honorable member is asking, let me find what does the let me ask about this thing of acting. How long does the law allow for someone to act? Can the witness confirm? Some of us maybe we can use the layman language. How long does the law allow for someone to act in this case?
Honorable Chair, I don't know how long the law allows for someone to act. But as for my case, there is no letter that has been written to say you are no longer acting, you are now substantive, or somebody else has taken my position. So I'm acting until the day that someone tells me otherwise, either to confirm me in the position, which is the natural thing which should be done after acting for over 4 years, or they tell me somebody else is coming to replace you, and I'll hand over very fast.
Chair, that question,
Let me ask you, the engineer, is it since 2022, you have been continuous acting or there is some renewal?
The letter that I have, which I can supply to this house, if you wish, says you've been appointed as the acting county agricultural engineer. It doesn't say for 2 years, it doesn't say for 6 months. It just says that. And I believe there is a reason. You know, I control resources. I believe somebody somewhere places people in these positions and they place them acting. So that if you cross a path of someone, you are replaced. That is what I think.
Yeah, Chair, allow me.
Let me ask a question to the engineer. In 30 words, how many coolants are operational?
In
30 words, how many coolants are operational?
I don't have the exact number, but I know Koyondurio Ward cooling plant structure operated for a very short time. Then it collapsed. It has a chilling plant, it has a chiller inside, it has solar installed, it has electricity installed. So it operated for around 3 to 6 months. Then it collapsed, it is not functioning. Another one that is operating, Chepterit operated for not more than 3 months. Then there was no milk, it was closed down. I believe they are getting maybe 10 liters now. So the chiller that was placed inside there is not working. They are collecting with jerry cans and supplying to KCC. The other one that is operating is, there is one that is, Aldai Moi, the one that was renovated for Gaptumo Gaboy, has been operating. I am not sure now whether it is still operating, but it was not built entirely by the county government of Nandi. It was built by Aldai Moi Cooperative Society. So when a chiller was to be brought by, I don't know whether it is SDCP, the then MCA and the people who were making decision during that time decided that instead of building a new one in Kaptumo Kaboi, let's continue or complete the works for Aldai Moi. Then a chiller was placed in Aldai Moi and it operated very well. But all the others, 20-something, are not operating. And without fear of any contradiction, at least 20 will not operate in the next 3 years.
Let me finish, Chair, through to engineer. So you can confirm to this house that there is no value of money. Why?
Yes, there is no value for money. There is no value for money.
Thank you.
There is no value for money.
Chair, so that we conclude, now that he has mentioned Chepterit, it happened that when I was passing by, I just peeped inside the cooling plant for Chepterit. And I saw some 2 coolers inside. One a bigger one and the other one smaller one. So when you say it was operational, which one was being used? The smaller one that county provided, or the one that it was there?
I said Chepterit is operational in that they are collecting milk. No chiller in Chepterit has ever collected milk. It has not been placed. No milk has been poured into those 2 chillers. Not a single drop has been poured into those 2 chillers.
Thank you, Chair.
Okay,
Chair,
honorable members, I wish to guide that this issue of the cooling plants, I think it has been dwelled. Yeah, so let us go to the next.
Honorable Chair, he didn't answer my question on a number of questions actually, but let's maybe talk about the resource structure.
Okay, let me
briefly.
Let me through Honorable Chair.
And as you answer,
yes,
could you confirm to this committee whether there was purchasing of land or not during the the construction of these structures?
Okay, in the 8 years I've been in the county, there's no land that has been purchased in the Department of Agriculture, not a single one. That I remember. I don't remember. Number 2, on the cooling plant structure in Lesos ward, I am aware that it was handed over. The chief was there, the former MCA was there, the community was there. So if they showed a site that is a road reserve, I am not aware, but I have heard that it was built on a road reserve. I was not the one who was handing over. I was not the one who was taking over. But
Chair,
maybe in conjunction, Chair, You being the engineer,
Yes, the county acting.
by profession, not even the county, the
Okay.
acting engineer by profession.
Yes.
Would you not know the difference and the distance between a road reserve and the title land between even here in between Namgoyan? Could you know and identify this is a road reserve, this is the meters or the measurement that is supposed to be the road, and this one is the public?
On many occasions, I can make out that this thing looks like it is a road reserve, but the site in Lesos, it is not easy to know. It is on a very small road, and not even vehicles were using it during that time, during handing over. In any case, I was not the one who did the handing over.
Yeah. In any, but you know, it's not a small road at all.
It was.
It is the former original road.
Yes.
So it's a big road.
Yeah.
But anyhow,
yes.
May I just ask you? So it was supposed to be placed in which land anyway? Just for purposes of clarification. Now that you thought it was land, was it community land, private land, or what was it? Whose land was it in?
The farms that we have installed these chilling plants was identified partly by the community and partly by the MCS of that time. I even have a list which I wish to table that was signed by the then MCS on where the chilling plants should be placed. I scanned it. I don't know for what purpose, but it has helped me a lot now.
Okay.
Honorable Chairman, I think this is a fairly critical thing, which the engineer should then, maybe we need to read the law to him so that he understands. This is on the role of the member of county assembly. So this is section 9, sorry, I'm guided that is, yes, section 9. Witness, and I would like you to pay attention to a certain part where it says this. That is section 9, subsection 2, A and B. A member of the county assembly shall not be directly or indirectly involved in the A, executive functions of the county government and its administration. B, delivery of services as if the member were an officer or an employee of the county government. So as it were, I'm not saying that you would be to blame. Maybe that's what you found. But the responsibility, finally, on whether county money is lost or not, and particularly so, the reason why you are employed is to help the county government, the executive, not to make a mistake. Would that be a correct?
To be a technical person to help the county executive and any other person. Yes.
Like building on a road reserve.
Exactly.
So would you say that this squarely lies with you, no matter what, even if you have a list of supposedly signed by MCAs and they say, go and, if the MCAs now ask you to put a structure on top of a tree, would you go ahead and put it there?
The cost of putting up a structure on top of a tree.
No, I'm asking you, would you do it?
I will not do it.
What if they ask you to go and put it in Wasingishu?
I will not do it.
So why would you put it on a road reserve?
As I alluded earlier, we have what we call a systemic failure in the whole of county government of Nandi. To put it in a perspective, I don't know how I can bring it out softly so that
maybe just so that everybody understands.
Honorable Maina, please allow the engineer to explain, please.
You see, Chair, Honorable Maina through the chair. there are some things that you cannot go beyond. Like between 2015 and below, even the cattle lifts that were to be repaired were identified by the technical staff in the Department of Agriculture. Right now, from 2017 to date, 90% of cattle lifts that are repaired are identified by MCS. I'm very right on that. So that is part of the system about. 99% of the cooling structures that have been built by Nandi County were identified by MCS. So I'm not blaming you, but I'm saying all of us at one point have failed. If you give us the mandate, that is why you have been renovating cattle lift that will not work. We renovated one in Iruru here, Kapsabet ward. It functioned for only 6 months. It was the best built. It was opened by the government. It failed because it was identified by somebody else who is not a technical officer.
Yeah.
And many others. I'll give you examples if you wish. Very many of them.
Chair, I have a question.
Let me give Honorable Tarbi.
Yeah, I have a question. The engineers told us that in 2022-23, there was a budget allocation of 3.6 million for renovation.
Yeah.
And you have mentioned they were to renovate 3 coolers, that is Jemeril Jemase, Songosoba, and Kapsabet. So I wanted to know which money you used in the likes of Chemundu Kamngetuny and other renovations.
The World Bank money.
How much in total?
In total, it was around 5.something million that were used to renovate Chepterit and Chemundu Kamngetuny cooling plant structure.
Was this money, aside from the 3.6, was it budgeted for?
The World Bank money?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was budgeted. You cannot do a project of the World Bank before a feasibility study, before approvals. And there are so many approvals, more than 10 of them. It is uploaded all the time. Before any other step, you can move from any step, it has to go to Nairobi to be approved by what we call the NPC, National Project Coordinating Unit. It moves. The approvals there.
The 3.6 million, it was budgeted in the financial year. I mean this one for World Bank, was it approved in this?
Yes, it was approved by the 3rd County Assembly, 3.6 million. It is there in the budget. I don't have the budget, but let me tell you, if you allow me, I beg your indulgence. Before I do any project bill of quantities, I write what we call a requisition.
Chair,
I write the estimate.
Chair, that assembly is the current assembly.
Yes,
Could
current
be-
assembly, that's what I'm talking about. Yes. So I'm saying, what I do, I raise what we call a requisition, and I write of Taret Moi cattle, for example, approximate value. After I check the budget would be saying 3 million, 300,000. So I write a requisition which goes through.
Chair. In this case, we do have a budget here, and I would wish for 2022, 2023, I would wish the witness to show me where it shows that the Chemundu Kamngetuny molecular plan was allocated and it was passed in this house, Chair, for clarity. And
I
for
think,
the purpose
let me give guidance before you respond. There are 2 factors here, honorable members. We have the budget that was approved in the county assembly, which is 3.6 million. And we have another budget of the World Bank. So I think you need to come clear on that.
Yes, I have said, and I have repeated it over 3 times. Chemundu Kamngetuny and Chepterit cooling plant structures were renovated by the World Bank, not a budget that was passed in this. 6. That is an allocation for the 3 cooling plant structures. Soba Songo, Chemelil Chemase, and Kapsabet cooling plant was passed by the House. County Assembly money, 3.6. Not Chemundu Kamngetuny.
Chair,
Yes.
so that I get satisfied.
Yes.
Who approves this World Bank money for within the ward? Who approves? Does it mean it is not part of budgetary allocation?
It is not approved. I am sure. I know it is not approved by the county assembly. The money that is used to, but I am not an authority in matters budget. So
Honorable Chair.
Kindly allow me to pass that question because I'm not very privy to the budgetary process.
Honorable Chair,
Yes.
if you can just clarify, are you referring to Narik money?
Yes.
So this 5 point something is Narik?
Narik money. It may not be exactly the exact figure that I've given, but I
And
give
in the many years that you've been here, you've been spending Narik money outside the purview of this assembly. Is that your position?
I said I am not very privy. Yes.
During the period when you've been around,
yes,
to your knowledge,
yes,
you've been spending all Narik money outside the purview of this house, or outside the oversight of this house.
Honorable Chair, these monies are what we call conditional grants. You use according to what the donor wishes you to use. As for other,
maybe
I don't
on
understand
that
much.
factor of the Narik money,
yes,
all, even the conditional grants
Yes.
must be captured in the budget. I want to indulge that let this issue of the 2 cooling plants.
Chair, it's not the issue of
Chepterit-
cooling plan, Chair, please, with all due respect, Chair.
No,
Now, you know, it's mentioned, Chair, it's mentioned that it's not privy to the working of budget and the accounting officer. Now, for this case, is an engineer. Could he tell us who now keeps checks and balances on these resources? Who, if this house is not informed? Checks and balances.
Chair, you,
Honorable Chair, you know, I'm
Honorable
very happy.
Chair.
I'm very happy with what the other committee is doing. If there is any monkey business that has been happening in the last 3 years, it will not happen for the next 3 years.
Point of
People
order.
will be scared.
Point of order, Chair.
Order, honorable members. I need to give directions. What is bringing the bone of contentions are the 2 milk plants in Chepterit and Chemundo. And now that is mentioned that the 2 milk cooling plants, Narik money was spent. And because we have the Narik team coming,
Chair, you did
to
not
order, honorable member, now, and I've directed that engineer here accompanies the Narik team on the day that they will be appearing. I want to indulge that the issue of the 2 milk plants, we raised that issue to be addressed with the Narik team.
Maybe,
so
Chair,
that
before-
we proceed
before you
on
rule.
that
Maybe,
matter.
maybe Chair, before you move from there,
Before you
move from there,
yes.
Yes, Chair. Now that, you know, I wanted to confirm of the resources, because these are just basically the 2 cooling plants. Could the engineer, because he's been working for a longer experience, could he tell us maybe other projects that he has done using the Narik money? Because I'm sure it's not the only 2 projects, Chair.
Honorable Chair, the biggest monies were spent by World Bank money, which is Narik, is Kabiet, NDCU, the milk processing plant, over 300 million. The other one is Chebonet.
Can you come clear, Chair, witness? Is it over 300?
Approximately around that.
300
I'll get
million.
the facts. I'll get the
Chair.
facts.
Honorable members, honorable
Chair,
members,
point of order, Chair.
Order. Honorable members, we have a day with the Narik team. And I've directed that any issue to be dealt with Narik, let us postpone that issue to that
Chair.
day, honorable.
Chair, allow the witness.
Because
Chair.
now,
Chair.
no,
Chair.
no,
Please,
you
kindly
know,
allow
honorable
the witness,
members,
Chair.
please, I
Listen.
want to make a ruling now.
Listen to me, Chair.
Because we are mixing up issues here. We are mixing up issues.
Actually, Chair,
And if we continue rotating on one single thing, we are not moving.
Honorable Chair, that's why I wanted to make a comment.
Honorable Tarbey in Mosby.
Honorable Chair, I also thought on your line of thinking that we are allowing the witness to give us gossip because it is not within his mandate. Let us just restrict him to his engineering works because he is not authorized to speak on the matters that we are asking him. So, Chair, I need, or rather I request for your guidance, like you've said, so that the witness does not tell us what is outside his mandate. We are also jeopardizing his position.
I think I want to direct and rule that anything touching on Narik should not be discussed
Honorable Chairman.
until on Wednesday.
Honorable Chairman.
I will only allow you if you are not talking anything Narik.
Mr. Chairman.
I will only allow you if you are not talking anything Narik.
I'm just talking about what
No.
you were
If
saying.
anything Narik, honorable members, you are discussing something that is to be discussed in another forum.
But Mr. Chairman.
And you might jeopardize.
What I want to say. And
I want to say this. No, I'm making a firm decision now. If you are not discussing anything Narik, I will allow. Honorable members, let us proceed. Honorable Sum.
Okay, thank you, Chair. Let me ask Engineer. In your section in the Department of Agriculture, do you have some other staff working under you?
I really wish that this question did not come, but I'll answer it. It is a monster. I have
Honorable
I have
Engineer, please, can you be on the mic and
Okay,
be audible,
okay.
please?
Okay, I have
Yes.
said I have people working under me, but for the last 2 years I've been alone in the side of engineering because the other 2 engineers have been seconded to Narik. One is a SESCO, the other one is a soil and water conservation specialist. So on matters infrastructure, I would say I have been alone until last year when an engineer, the supervisor of tractors, came in. But 3 months ago, he was sent home. Everybody knows what happened. So I am alone as of now. I also
I was asking that question because I have witnessed a renovation of cattle dips across, and there is a lot of poor supervision of the contractors doing that work. That's why immediately after completion of such renovations, the problem occurs, or the dip again is unsustainable. That's why it fails.
Okay, one, the sustainability of cattle dips, Honorable Chair, as alluded by Honorable Sum, is under the purview of the veterinary section. I don't operationalize cattle dips. I only come in during renovations and go away. If a cattle dip doesn't work because there are no cattle or there is no acaricide, I will not...
Engineer, I think you are moving out of the question.
Yes.
The question is, by Honorable Sum, poor construction. It is not about operationalizing the project.
Okay.
It is about the quality of the construction.
Okay, as I have said, if there is any construction works that have not been done to quality, it could fall under 2%. 98% of the others, I have tried to the much that I can to supervise. Supervising 60 cattle dips at a go by one engineer is a tall order. And it is not only cattle dips. We also have coolers, and I'm the only one. We also have tractors, and I'm the one. We also have cabinet. We also have chicken cooling, chicken slaughter facilities. This would have come in my closing remarks, but I would tell you I am overworked. I am overworked. I've been treated for fatigue over 3 times because I'm the only one doing all this. And 99% of MCS here, we have met, elected MCS, we have met in the ground doing these things.
Chair.
I'm the only one.
Chair.
Yes, Honorable Trufosa.
Engineer.
Yes.
I have heard you saying you have gone all the renovated cattle dips.
Over 95%.
Over 95.
Yes.
Have you read a cattle dip called cattle dip, which was done 4 months ago, renovation?
I have gone to Kapobo cattle dip, cattle dips, which were renovated in last financial year. I have gone there.
So you satisfied the renovation?
One of them among the one Kabobo and Kamais, they are in the same ward. I am satisfied with one. There's another one that I wrote instructions on corrections that should be done.
Where are they? In which ward?
They're in your ward.
Thank you. I wanted to confirm.
Honorable Chair.
Honorable Tolole.
Thank you so much. Allow me ask the witness, who assigns you the duties, and yes, who assigns you these duties? Then I'll pose another question.
Honorable Chair, anything infrastructure that is below 10 million is directly under the county agricultural engineer. So whether I'm assigned or not, and the budget has been given by the assembly, I take up immediately.
You work on your own?
I have said I'm the county agricultural engineer. So before any project, I wanted to explain the procedure on how a cattle dip, for example, can be renovated. I raise what we call a requisition. Chief officer forwards it to the procurement, head of procurement and supply chain management. The head of supply chain management forwards it to the head of proof that there is money allocated for this work.
Thank you so much. So I wanted to get to know, you saw it coming. Value that all these things that you've been doing do not have value for money. You saw it coming in your own words that you used. Now, given that, let me just use an example of the cooling plants. You are told to give the bill of quantities for a certain cooling plant.
Yes.
You know very well that it is not going to work, and you go ahead and do it. Could you even not refuse to do it, and then, or are you forced to do it?
Okay, as I said earlier, Honorable Chair, if 1 million is given for the construction of a cooling plant structure or a milk aggregation center, for example, I don't know the thinking of the person who placed the budgetary allocation. Maybe this person wanted to give other monies in another phase. So if you give me money that is not enough to do a project, I do it and call it phase 1. Then the person who allocated the money, if they know that this structure did not complete, so they can allocate more money in the next financial year. So to date, no more allocation has been given for cooling plant structures. But if it was given, they will be operational.
Chair, in conjunction with what Honorable Tolole has just asked, so in this case, you have assured us that anything below 10 million, you are answerable. While some of us now, we are aware of cattle dips, you are mentioning something that it is really warranting. Because most of the contractors is more innovation works across the county. And even up to today, they have not been paid. Yes. And could you please tell us what could be the reason? Because could it be because I understand all the tips that it was fully renovated, it was not paid towards the end of this financial year?
Honorable Chair.
What happened exactly? Tell us and be frank
Honorable
so
Chair,
that we can get that point.
Honorable Chair, together with Honorable Keter, I'm also crying. Because if a contractor has completed the renovation of a cattle dip in January, why has it been paid to this day? I gave out a certificate. I gave out an inspection report. I gave out the forwarding letter. So my work was finished January this year. It has not been paid. I don't know. With you. But what I don't understand with not only this county and many others, why would the step of where their documents are followed? It should be once the contractor has given the chief officer the invoice, and I've given the completion certificate and the inspection report and payment. The contractor should go home to wait for money. It should not be seen at the Department of Finance following Munilipe. Why should that happen? I think if I were the chief officer myself, I would list all the projects that have been completed. So that I say Honorable Keter finished work in January, he should be the first one to be paid. Honorable Sarah was the second one to complete a project, he should be there. But you find a project which was completed last week has been paid. A project which was paid was completed in January has not been paid. So it is a failure on our part. Many of us have failed.
Chair, so that I raise that case, are you in a position to tell how many tips have been complete and they have not paid?
I think approximately 10 to 12 cattle lifts have been completed. I am only aware of 4 that have been paid. Tuloy cattle lift has been paid. Serem cattle lift has not been paid. It was finished over 4 months ago. Kosarai cattle lift has not been paid. It was finished over 4 months ago. And I can give more examples. I'm not very sure of all the others that have been paid, but I am aware of around 4 that have been paid.
Olare cattle lift?
Olare cattle lift has been paid.
The 2 Kemela Maraba Ward.
Not yet paid. Not yet paid. Not yet paid. In fact, Adam Say came to the office crying Munisaidia. But I don't have powers. And I will not tell him I don't have powers. Because how will I report that?
Okay.
Chair,
maybe,
so Honorable Chair.
Maybe an interjection.
Yes, Your Honor.
You know that they have the dips that are complete and they have not been paid.
I can get the document.
Can you also be in a position to tell us those that are not complete but they have been paid?
No, I don't know of any cattle dip that has. There is no incomplete cattle dip that has or not was paid without a certificate.
Honorable Chairman, I wish maybe we can take you to the place where you are more comfortable. Could you explain to this committee where do you get involved in the budget making process? Or first of all, are you involved?
99% no.
So
somebody would call me only to ask for an estimate of constructing a cattle dip, and I would tell them it falls between 1.4 to 1.8 depending on the distance.
Who would call you?
Sometimes the director calls me.
Which
sometimes
director?
even an
Director,
MCA
yes,
calls me. Many. I'm called by many directors. All of them. All the departmental directors. It is only this year that I was partly involved in the budgetary making process. All the other years, like for Kabiet, for example, and Wake Up, 60 million has been placed in the budget. What do? You do the works, call it phase 2. Then you wait. You don't finish, you wait for other monies.
So you are called by director and told to give an estimate?
Sometimes, yes. Many times I am called. Even MCA calls me sometimes. They are doing the budgetary engineer. How much? I respond through the
When
phone.
you are answering, do you visit the site?
That's why I say I give estimates. To construct a cattle dip would be anything between 1.4 to 1.8 million. You don't need to visit a site to know that it will cost around that time.
Maximum or minimum?
You're saying?
Or you just choose depending on your mood?
No, I'm saying,
Like you're saying, it is a range of what?
Construction of a cattle dip. I've been involved in cattle dips for a long time. I know to build a cattle dip is anything between 1.4 and 1.8. That is an estimate. I have not said it is actual. That is why there is a difference. We give out works. Even somebody quotes a little higher than the engineer's estimate.
Through the chair, I agree with you, but I'm saying,
yes.
So assume that I have called you.
Yes.
You want to do a cattle dip somewhere in a place you don't know.
Construction.
Yes. And since you know it's between this and this.
Fortunately.
How do you decide?
Fortunately, I have gone to 99% of villages in this county. So I know in Kapchorwa, you will build a cattle dip at around 1.8 because of the distance from materials. I know in Lesos, you will build at around 1.6 because materials are near. I know in Tabolwa, you will build it close to 1 million because of the distance and the conditions of the road. Estimate, it's called estimate.
Chair, one important question in connection with the dips, and particularly the collapsed dips. Collapsed completely or partially collapsed? Are you aware of these cattle dip that are partially or
I'm aware of one.
Can you kindly mention the number of dips that have completely collapsed or partially collapsed and status of payment? and reasons as to why these dips collapsed under your watch as an engineer?
I recall now one dip that collapsed. The other committee has falsely called it Kap Kwong, but I wanted to put it clear. It is not Kap Kwong, it is called Chemalal in our records.
Through the chair, are you not aware of Kapkoros before we put up at the new one, Kapkoros cattle dip? It collapsed also.
Kapkoros cattle dip, yes, Kapkoros and Sayet. I was thinking you are speaking about the subject matter that we have in the assembly.
I was saying about the fully collapsed or partially collapsed cattle dips in the entire county.
We have many.
Could you tell us what are the reasons?
I recall at least 3 for structural collapse, but others are collapsing because they have not been used. I mean, it is not functional, but it has not structural collapse. One is Kapkoros. The poles that were used to hold the roof cave in. I went and investigated Kapkoros cattle dip, and I found that what the contractor was sold as CCA treated, that is chromated copper arsenate treated. That is what many people would call Chris is doing in Chepterit. Those poles are called CCA treated. So what the contractor was sold was not up to standard. Unfortunately, we do not have the gadgets to test whether the CCA treatment was done correctly. So that is number 1. Number 2, Sayet cattle dip in Tinderet ward. Very difficult terrain. Also, the roof structure came down because of the poles that were holding the roof structure came down. They were not correctly treated with CCA, but I'll not give the engineering failure part on the poles because I did not test. I don't have the capacity to test. Maybe Kenya Bureau of Standards would help us. Number 3, Jamalal cattle dip in...
hold on to the chair. You've mentioned something. I don't know that term you are using to test.
CC, chromated copper arsenate treatment.
How then, if we are not in a position to tell whether this is quality or not, how then did you realize later on that this was a problem if you have no idea on the quality of those poles? Which parameter did you use to realize and establish that the cause of the collapse was this?
Clearly, if you even saw the pictures what was making rounds on social media, it is the poles that CCA treated poles rarely cave in before 5 years elapses. So I made inference that they must have been not treated correctly. And I've said I don't have the capacity to test, but I can make my own judgment. That is the judgment that I made. That is Kapkoros and Sayet, yes.
Chair, that is your unprofessional judgment, right?
Professional point of view.
It is not. If that was the case, then...
Professional doesn't mean that you have to test. I have said professional view, even when we are sent to do a test in a project that has collapsed, you can give a professional view.
Okay,
as an engineer.
Chair. Just hold on, please. There's something that I want to establish from you. Sir?
Yes.
Do you normally carry out inspection before any payment or certificate of completion is raised?
Yes.
Because this will then... And to ensure resources are safeguarded and no of poor workmanship and professionalism.
Do inspections, we do. We do inspections.
For these particular dips, were there any inspection of the
Yes, the inspection was done for all those dips.
And they recommend use?
Exactly.
And finally?
And finally, 3 years later,
who recommended?
The CCA treated poles came
who recommended?
An inspection committee, which I was the chairman.
Chair, you appended your signature, right?
Yes.
Together with the team?
Yes, I wouldn't lie.
Could you please respond through the chair?
Yes, chair.
So, do you think where you sit as an engineer, and you've mentioned you are a registered engineer?
Yes, registered by 2 bodies,
do you
IEK and EPK.
Do you comfortably sit there and say there was value for money on those specific?
If you look at the bill of quantities, everything was implemented to the latter. So during the time of handing over, which the community was there to see, when we did inspections, the works according to the bill of quantities were complete.
Chair, let
and
me
I
specify.
said, Honorable Chair,
there
are some things.
He's using public to confirm whether the project was done right or wrong. He's saying members of the public confirm.
Honorable members, I want this.
No, please, Chair. Very important thing, idea that is giving us, that members of the public confirmed.
Guidance. I want the same dip to be projected.
Yes.
So that we can take up from there. Can the ICT team, please, can you project that dip? Two dips there, Jared Moy and Kapkwong.
For the record, Chair, that dip is called Chemalal cattle dip. Kapkwong, it is Chemalal cattle dip.
Okay.
Chair, as I prepare to project, Chair, there is something that I'm so much interested on the statement that was given by the engineer.
Proceed.
That he was doing his certification based on the opinions of the members of the public. And you know, initially he told us he's the only person in charge of structural works. Sorry.
I have said, Honorable Chair, inspection is not carried out by one person.
Chair, let the witness concentrate on the projections so that he can respond properly.
Which dip is that one?
That one looks like Chemalal Katkal dip in Jemalil Jamasa ward. It looks like.
Is it the one? Yeah. The ICT team? It is the one. Yeah, proceed. Proceed to explain the circumstances surrounding.
As I said, when I went to inspect that cattle dip last year, I found that the substructure was built using bricks. It was initiated and handed over before I came into office. Phase 1 was done and inspected by a team which I was not among. Phase 2 was done and inspected by a team which was not among them. But I went to inspect when I came to the office, and I found that the wrong engineering method was used to build this cattle dip and 2 others. Let me explain.
Now, before you even explain,
yes,
there was an issue that we were told it was built on a stormwater pathway. Is it the same dip?
It is true. It is true, but I'll tell you the circumstances.
Okay, let him explain so that
I'll tell you the circumstances.
Before explanation, Chair,
yes,
so that we can understand. You see, from explanation of the witness, he mentioned something to do with treatment of the post. But from observation, very close observation on the tip itself, Chair, it is about the concrete work. It's not about the tree. I don't know whether everyone can observe on that one.
Honorable
because
Chair,
from all, I wanted that one to be in record, Chair. Because in explanation of the witness, he mentioned something to do with posts. But from our close observation, you can see the falling bat are only on concrete works.
Honorable
I don't
Chair,
know if I am right or wrong.
Let me
the
put it
witness
clear.
clarify.
Yes.
I said Kapkoros cattle dip, it is a CCA treated poles that failed. Soyet cattle dip, it is a CCA treated poles that failed. That is not Kapkoros, that is not Soyet, that is Chemalal. I have not explained that the poles failed in Chemalal.
So
I was giving the explanation
can
now.
you explain the circumstances?
Yes, the circumstances. The phase 1 of this cattle dip was not done using the right engineering. because this is a place where we have clay soils and heavy cotton, black cotton soils. The bearing capacity of clay is so little, less than 100 newtons per meter square. That cattle dip should have been built using what we called reinforced concrete walls. It was not done. That is why when a mudslide happened, it carried away that cattle dip. It was also done in 2 phases. Phase 1 was 600,000 in 2018-2019. Phase 2 was allocated 600,000 in the year 2019-2020. And I have a warning which I can table if you allow me, that I wrote myself informing the chief officer that these works have not been, the recharge of this cattle dip took a long time before it was done. That is Margie. Water was not placed inside this cattle dip. And because of differential in years of building phase 1 of a cattle dip by a different contractor, another contractor comes to do phase 2 to do the shoulders, which we call cutwork. So if the substructure was done poorly by a different contractor under wrong engineering that may have been advised by the 10 county agricultural engineer, then the phase 2 comes to build the shoulders and build the roof structure, and it collapses. That cattle dip collapsed because of 1, mudslide. Number 2, the bricks that we used was less than 200 millimeters square. Ilikuwa chini ya inchi 8. Anything beyond 7 inches is what we call a load-bearing wall. That wall was not load-bearing. It was less than 200 millimeters. That is why it came in, and many other 2 cattle dips.
Yeah.
And I was not there.
Was it paid? Was it paid?
It was paid. It was paid, and even water was placed that, and it took over 3 months. Water settled. There was no leakage for over 3 months. Then 1 year later or 2 years later is when I found out that the had collapsed.
May I ask, Honorable Chairman, Engineer?
Yes.
Are you able to tell whether the BQs were followed when you are issuing a certificate?
You say where the BQ were?
At the point of issuing a certificate.
Yes.
Are you able to ascertain
that
all the BQ, because I heard you to be saying earlier,
yes,
that all the BQs were followed, only for you to be rudely shocked that probably the posts were not CCA treated as claimed?
I have the bill of quantities for the construction of Jamal Cattle Phase 1. It was followed to the latter. Phase 2 was followed to the latter.
My question is,
yes, Honorable Chair.
Are we then saying, of course, you know, the contractors you get can cut corners and they can fool you? Is that a true position?
It is possible.
Have you been fooled by contractors?
I've been fooled once, but I went to confirm the work that had been done before I issued the certificate.
Now, this
and the contractor continued to do good work after I visited the site. I've also been fooled this year. Before I wrote the certificate, I waited for another day. Then early in the morning, I was in that cattle inspecting the work. What the contractor, even the photos that the contractor had brought was not what was on the ground. I did not issue the certificate. And that contract has not been paid to date because he has not completed works.
Is this the Tebesonic?
The Tebesonic cattle dip.
Yes.
It has not been constructed in this financial year.
Okay, when
the contractor has not reported to site.
Why?
Over 3 months later.
Why?
I don't know. You see, when works, in fact, the award letter has not been given because when it was tendered, the contractor did not fill the bill of quantities correctly. So the award letter has not been given out for the Tebesonic cattle dip. If it has been given out maybe in the last 1 month. But up to and including 30th July 2024, the Tebesonic cattle dip has not been, the works have not been done. The works that were done for the Tebesonic cattle dip was in 2018, 2019, and 2019, 2020.
So these cattle dips, are you the one who designs? And I'm curious at this point. I just would like to know, what is your area of specialization?
I'm an agricultural engineer.
Specialized in what area?
Practice. I'm an agricultural engineer by training and practice. I design cattle dips, yes.
So the agricultural engineering includes designing cattle dips?
Any agricultural structure, not only cattle dips, include milk processing plants, milk cooling plants, zero grazing units.
So did you design the cattle dips in question?
Which one?
The ones that we are discussing.
I said this new the one that I designed is Kamaruso cattle dip, which was built in 22.
How many cattle dips have you designed?
I have designed maybe 3.
Who designed the rest?
It was designed before I came into office.
Even when you are below somebody, you never designed anything?
No, I did not design cattle dips.
So when you are under somebody, when there was another engineer, what was your work?
My work was to work under the county agricultural engineer including even
Can you describe,
supervising sometimes.
Describe what you used to do when you are under the county engineer.
I used to supervise works.
Same works? The ones that
some, not all of them. We were 4 during that time, so I would be assigned some cattle dips to supervise.
So yours were good, except the others were not very good?
I have said that when a certificate is raised, it is signed by somebody else. The person who signs the certificate is the one who carries the blame if the works were not done correctly, because he does the inspection himself.
So this designing, does it include siting?
Chair, it includes siting. It includes siting, but mostly, Honorable Chair,
Honorable Minor,
the siting of these cattle dips.
The engineer to explain.
The siting of these cattle dips, mostly it is on land that exists. You don't site, you go and the community tells you this is land for cattle dip. Jamal cattle dip, there is another cattle dip that failed 100 meters away over 15 years ago. There was a cattle dip there. So when the then office went to build the Jamalal cattle dip, a new one, it was built on the same site. I have been there.
Chair, on maybe clarification from the witness, I have heard saying I was fooled. By who? And he has just used it twice.
I have said I have been fooled by contractors, but luckily I did not fall for it. I did not fall for it because I went to confirm the inspection. See, sometimes even the chairman sometimes somebody who claims to be one of the members of a community can be, huyo contractor alimaliza kazi. Munaesa etiakte, that is what they say. So I tell them, that is okay, thank you very much. So I write a certificate and wait. Then overnight or early in the morning I visit. Before I even go with my inspection team, I go to supervise myself to see if the works were done correctly. Before I even take the inspection team to go and look, I would have gone to a cattle dip. So I have not fallen to being fooled, but they tried fooling me.
Maybe Chair.
Chair.
A question. Before you identify, or when the members of public showed you this is the land, a project to be constructed, do you go to land survey to identify or to do search for the land?
No, we don't go to land survey to search whether there is some cattle dips are even on private lands and we are renovating.
Maybe through the chair, there's a concern of a cattle dip called Nganyilel and Sarora. And to ask the witness, do you know if they said to this?
I know Nganyilel and I know Sarora.
So through the chair again, Nganyilel and Sarora, is it complete and operational?
I don't know whether it is operational. I don't know, Chair. I don't know whether they are operational. I know at least one of them is complete because there is a certificate I issued for one and I visited. But another one, I have asked the contractor to continue doing the painting works using used oil. I'm not very sure which one because they are in the same ward.
Okay, and so one has been paid?
No, it has not been paid.
Both?
You're saying?
Both of them has not been paid?
Not one has been paid, none has been paid.
So
Honorable Professor.
Chair, I still want to ask engineer about Jamalala cattle dip. I have heard you saying that you are not among the team who inspected. Are you in the county that time or you had not been
I was
employed?
there. I was there.
So you are there?
Yes, I was
so
there.
Who wrote the certificate of completion of Kemala?
The county agricultural engineer.
Not you?
Not me. I was not the county agricultural engineer at that time.
So after, when the dip was used in 3 months before it collapsed, what action did you took when the dip had already collapsed?
What you do when I visit a cattle dip, and most times when I am visiting a cattle dip in an area, I was even going to a cattle dip called Sato Kipsumbai to do a supervision of works. Then I got information that there is a cattle dip which has collapsed in the same area, so I visited, and I saw, and I took my notes. If I were to make a decision myself, I would say that cattle dip, Jamal, it's not even sustainable to even build it. You'll build it, but there is no cow that will go there. The number of cows in that area are so few. So it will not even be sustainable. There is another one which has collapsed in the same area, which is called Lemit. It is dead. Satokipsumba has been dead for over 7 years. Emmet has been dead for over 7 years. The same Jamal. And it is because of the same thing, leakages. That area is clay, and heavy loam, heavy black cotton. So to build in those areas, I will need over 2 million because I will need to do what we call reinforced concrete walls. And I'll advise, if next time you give me 1.2 million to build a cattle dip in those areas, I'll refuse. I'll tell you it will not build.
But Honorable Chair, there is this question that needs to be clarified. And that's why I asked about the budgeting process. You know very well that the proposal comes from the executive.
Yes.
And the executive have you. So would it be right to say you are the one who has failed the county? One way or another. Forget about system. Maybe you are part of the system. Actually, I also wanted you to explain to us what you are saying by this system. Maybe you can put the faces in the system.
Okay.
Even it includes MCAs, as you have said.
Honorable
so that we
Chair.
can weed out the dead, whatever is failing.
Honorable Chair, 99% of these
Chair,
projects.
Please guide the witness. When the member of the committee is speaking, he should not be seeking indulgence, but he should remain silent until that time when you'll direct what to do. And as he responds to that, Chair, I want to read a portion of Procurement Act to him, technical person, as he responds to what Honorable Minor said. Section 60 of Public Procurement and Disposal Act, subsection 3, 60, subsection 3, on specific requirement. 3 says, the technical requirements shall, where appropriate, 1, conform to design, specification, functionality, and performance. That square lies on your door, Mr. Engineer. Do you think you've conformed to the specification as required by Procurement Act? Section 60, subsection 3.
Honorable Chair, since I came to office, I have conformed to the technical specifications of any project. But what I'll tell you is, most of the time, and 99% of the time, we get the allocations before the bill of quantities are made. Even now, the budget that we are using in this financial year, there are estimates or there is budgetary lines for infrastructural works that the Department of Agriculture. I have not done bill of quantities, but the money has been allocated. In such circumstances, what you will do the bill of quantities as per the amount that has been allocated and to the best of technical experience that you have. That is why most of the time we do a project this year. It is not complete in the next financial year. More money is needed for that project because allocation comes before bill of quantities.
But Chair, could the witness tell us where the failure is? Why is it that allocation comes before bill of quantities? Why? And you are there full time.
As I said earlier, I don't know who has failed or why would the Honorable Chair, why would a budget be given before bill of quantities? But most oftenly,
if you told me today to do the bill of quantities for a cattle dip to be renovated now, and I do the bill of quantities, then in the next financial year, you give me the amount that I had requested in the bill of quantities, it will not tally because these cattle dips are in use. So the state that is the state of a cattle dip now will not be the same state next year. Number two, we have inflation always. Cement was 600 shillings some 2 years back. It's now 950 shillings. So even if you told me to do a bill of quantities now, it will not be the same amount of money I'll want.
Honorable Chair, I think the witness is also, of course, taking us in some sort of a ride, because remember, I asked him a direct question, whether when he is asked to give estimates, he visits, he said, no. I have gone to all these areas. If they tell me it is Tabolo, I will know how much. Now, suddenly, he is sensitive to inflation. He is sensitive to how the cattle dip will be in use. He is no longer saying that he is able to predict. So, witness, it's also okay if you accepted that somehow you have not really lived up to the expectation of the county. But if you think that you've done very well, it's okay. But ideally speaking, as you have spoken, there is no way your department can come here with budgets based on nothing. That the budgets are based on just some guesswork. In your department, do you sit, for instance, when you are developing whatever comes as a budget to this assembly? Of course, you are giving us very useful information anyway, at the end of the day, that you don't sit to discuss the projects, you don't sit to find out which cattle dips really require renovation or to be done. You just find them in the budget. So we are now seeing how you have been fooling us.
Honorable Chair, I said I give estimates for new cattle dips, which I said between 1.4 and around 1.8 to even 2 million. I did not say I give estimates for renovations. Number two, it has been a norm from the time I arrived. When I arrived, 18 million was used for renovation. That was the budgetary allocation. The next financial year, 1920, it was 18 million. Then it came to 21, then it came to 24. It means the person who was giving the estimates was also privy to the fact that there is inflation going on. Number three, even last financial year, 23-24, an allocation of 24 million was done. No cattle dip for renovation had been identified. It was identified after the budget had been allocated. I was not there.
Now, one engineer, what have you done to correct that? What have you done personally, on a personal capacity? What have you done?
I have advised the department on many occasions that please, next time, let's do bill of quantities for new structures before a budgetary allocation can be done. And the World Bank projects are followed that. We do feasibility study, we do bill of quantities, we do proposals before approvals can be done. It is not the other way around. It is not money fast. It is the proposal, designs fast for all the World Bank funded projects and the one for KDSP, Jebanet.
And now, do you have any, you said you have advised, do you have any evidence to that effect?
If somebody could supply the management meeting minutes, because I'm not the holder of that, you would find it in that. We do management meetings, and I have advice. I don't know who keeps, but you could find.
Okay. Honorable Bitok.
Yes, Chair. With my finding, I find this very truthful and brilliant witness. He has a lot of denial and regret on his position that I wish I was a CEO. I wish I was up in that position. So we'll find that he lacks where to be. As if we can see, I also wish that he could be in this part of it to give us more information. But the information are very okay, and we have found the way forward and way to go.
Thank you, Honorable Bet.
Yes, thank you, Honorable Chair. Allow me to pose a question to witness Engineer Sakari. I've known him since he has paid a visit to my ward to inspect a very wonderful cattle dip. This man is up to his task. I want to say, Engineer, you are a truthful man. You have opened your heart. And truly, the truth will set you free. Engineer, you have said you are in acting capacity for, it is now 2 years down the line. True?
Honorable Chair, yes, that's very true.
Okay.
Since April 2022 or March, thereabout.
Okay. Are you drawing some allowances from as an on acting capacity?
Honorable Chair, I'm not drawing anything.
Okay. Chair, you can note something on that because we have almost the acting officers in the entire county, almost 41, and I think you are among those who are in acting capacity.
Yes.
And maybe there is somebody who is frustrating you. Is there somebody who is frustrating you? You have talked of the job group, whom you have stagnated for almost 8 years down the line.
Honorable
Is
Chair.
there somebody who is behind your back?
Honorable Chair, it is not a person, it is an office that is frustrating me. That office, I think, is the County Public Service Board.
Thank you.
Yes.
I think, Chair, you can also note something there. Engineer, since you
okay, Mheshimiwa, hold on a bit. Have you written any letter to that effect?
I have.
Concerning your promotions?
I have written letters. The problem, there is nothing called a tracking register in this place. You see, if you write a letter and you take it to an office, it should be received, stamped, and you are given your copy, and it is recorded, and you are given that it was recorded. But here, if I write a letter to some office today, I will not know whether it was given to the right person or not.
Do you have copies of the same letter?
I have copies that I have written.
You
Many.
Provide.
I have even asked for my salary to be changed, pay point to be changed for over 3 years. It has not been changed. And it is in the file at the registry.
Provide us with those.
I'll provide.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Proceed, Honorable Bet.
Thank you. Pona Engineer, there is a motion, it is almost to be tabled in this county assembly, this floor, concerning the county Akara site lab. That is also an issue which has been making dips to collapse. Kindly tell this honorable committee about county lab. Do we have any lab in this county for testing Akara site dip sample?
Honorable Chair, we don't
Should
have.
you propose one as a technical person?
We don't have, Honorable Chair, but I would wish that before an Akara site lab.
And before that, let me interject. Have you been testing these samples, dip samples? Have you been testing, and it is where?
Okay.
With a cost or free?
Honorable Chair, Akara sites in my, I am not in charge of testing of Akara sites or the dip samples. But the nearest lab is in Eldoret. For other information on whether they have been paying or no, I'm not sure. But often, when I go to hand over cattle dip, the community tells me it is long since we found, since we got the report from the samples that we sent to the lab. So I don't know whether the county pays, or the community pays, or it is done for free. I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Okay, thank you, Chair. As I summarize, this is our state brain, and anybody who is frustrating him or this engineer,
I think
he or she is liable.
Honorable
Thank you.
Honorable Bet, that is an issue to be dealt with by the committee. Honorable
Mike.
Sum, Honorable Mosbain, then Honorable Sum, and then Honorable members, I would like to bring into your attention that this session should actually be winding up.
Yes, my question to the engineer is about a store that should be up now in Kaptumo Kaboi, an aggregation store that was under, that I'm told he designed. He can deny or acknowledge if he's the one who designed a store that was to be built in Kaptumo Kaboi, an aggregation store, I think. You can tell us about it. Then, because, Chair, a tender was issued for the construction of the same, and he should tell us if he was involved and why has the work not gone on.
Honorable Chair, I designed Flocker stores. It was one design which was to be replicated 6 times in the county. I did the bill of quantities, and I heavily asked for assistance from the public works. Then I forwarded the same to the Department of Climate Change. That was the last time I was contacted. I was not there during evaluation. I was not there during opening. I was not there during site handing over. I don't even know whether the awards have been given. I don't know whether the works have started or whether works did not start. In fact, in such scenarios, the Department of Land should pay me and my team, the people who we did the designs together, including one engineer at the Department of Agriculture. We should be taken for a retreat to do those designs. Those are designs that you don't do in an office. Works that are more than 20 million. You don't sit in an office and do them. You need a retreat to do that. So when I ask that, it is like they shoved me away from that, that function, and now I don't know what is happening. So when they called me last some 2 months ago, I told them, write to the Chief Officer Agriculture, asking for assistance so that I'll be asked or I'll be directed to come and help you. So I have not gone to that department ever since that time.
Honorable Sum.
Okay, thank you, Chair. My question will go to the goes to our engineer. As a Department of Agriculture, and now you being in charge of the designs, we have an history now of unsustainable dips because of capacity and the reducing number of cattle nowadays. You know, the dips that we have are large dips in terms of volume, which used to accommodate a large number of cattle in the past. But nowadays, because of the change in agricultural activities, the number of cattle have reduced. What plans have you to maybe come up with a new design of a smaller volume of dips? And then my second question is, a dip in my ward, that is Olara Nyokir Cattle Dip, was recently renovated. Do you think there was value for money for that renovation?
To start, Honorable Chair, with the last question, I think we have not completed the renovations of the 2023-2024 cattle dips. But I think the dip that would be the very best in renovation is Orlare Nyokia. It was done to the best of the standards. Number 2, I have designed at least 3 cattle dips since 2022. One of them is Kamaruso. Number 2 is Kapkoros. Number 3 is the current Sato Kipsumba, which is ongoing. The capacities of those cattle dips are maximum of 15,000 liters. So any cattle that will be dipped approximately 100 in number will be able to sustain those cattle dips. But to be honest and to be very frank, if we are teaching our farmers and we are doing what we call extension, and we want our farmers to keep cattle that are producing 15 liters plus, if I had a 15-liter cow, I wouldn't take to any cattle dip because I risk many things. One, that cow will be very heavy. Jumping onto a cattle dip, you will lose 5 liters of milk if it goes to that cattle dip. Number 2, the distance to drive a cow from here to a cattle that is 1 kilometer away, you are losing milk. So according to me, we should think whether we are continuing to build the other new cattle dips when we have 50 collapsed cattle dips. I don't support the continuous construction of new cattle dips. So I would rather we renovate.
Allow me to interject, Chair. Could it be the reason then, Bwana Engineer, that a dip in Kamarich has not been built for close to a year and some months now? Could it be the reason that quietly you are not approving? Could it be that you are not approving?
Your Chair, Kamarich cattle dip, I did the designs for Kamarich cattle dip, and we handed over in the presence of the MCA for Gaboy, Honorable Isaac Mosby, my former schoolmate. The contractor did not report to site to this day. We are now in the process of retendering. And I have tried, even the chief officer is frustrated because many of the contractors we have asked or invited to bid for these cattle lifts have refused to come. And many others, like 7 cattle lifts, people have refused to come to bid. So people are worried, saying, why should I build this one? I built the other one, I have not been paid. So nobody's coming.
So maybe can you finish on the issue of Honorable Sum? Then we proceed. We bring the session to an end. Or are you satisfied, Mheshimiwa, with the answers given?
Chair.
Okay. Honorable Keter?
Chair, I think it has now come to clear from the witness. The witness has confirmed to us that despite trying his best, maybe, we still have some challenges. So what have you done to contractors that they have not been paid, has not been paid? Have you ever make a request so far since the year has just ended? You are now having the banding bills. You have the budget with you that we passed in this house. You have not implemented. So have you advised in any case by writing a letter or doing anything? What have you done in this case?
What I can only do for contractors who have not been paid, I can only pray for them. There's nothing else I can do. There's nothing else I can do. I can only wish them the best.
Chair.
Honorable Bit.
He mentioned something to do with Eastern in office, and he said, I used to be in charge of tractors before another person joined me, and he mentioned an engineer. Can the engineer tell us more about these country tractors? Tell us more about these country tractors.
Okay.
The management of it.
For the last close to 1 month, I have grounded all the tractors of the county government of Nandi. Because the same thing as recurred for the last over 2 years. We are using drivers who are casuals. Somebody who is a casual is in charge of a tractor that is close to 4 million, including the implement. We don't have any written contract with this person. I think we don't have because they are casuals.
Chair.
So let me tell you, I'm really worried on the tractors. So I wouldn't speak much on tractors because I don't want to continue handling them until and unless permanent employees or people who are on contract are brought in to operate. So they are now grounded. Next time someone calls me, and I'll tell them it is grounded, because according to me it is wrong for somebody who is on casual terms that nobody understands to operate or drive a tractor that is costing 2 million. It's not right.
I think that one is answered. Honorable Bit.
Honorable Chair, so how long did you, when did you realize that it was wrong to use casuals?
On the on the second day that I entered office, I did not deal with tractors to this day. On the second day that I became the acting county agricultural engineer.
So who was in charge of the tractors?
There are people who are in charge.
And now you've said you as it is currently, you've crowned them.
The last 1 month. Since the
So
the
when were you handed over the tractors?
when engineer, there is an engineer who was affected by this, what do we call, this bad patch that happened some 2 months ago.
Okay.
Yes.
Honorable Chair, I like it that this engineer has talked about some soft aspects, and still, engineer, I would like to ask you, when you ceased, like for instance, on touching the tractors, as a responsible officer, I mean somebody responsible, even as a responsible citizen, did you note your reservations?
I noted my reservations, Honorable Chair, and if somebody was fair enough to supply you management meeting minutes, I said I want employees of tractors operators to give me a letter indicating that they have been deployed to me. They did not report to me. I found them in office.
So maybe a final question. We had another witness who said to us that there's a tractor which has been allocated to administration.
Yes.
Have you also grounded that one?
No, I cannot ground what is not in the department. Your Honor, the tractor that is in the administration was given out before I even came to office, around 2019 or 2018 there. Another one is in Kaimos, Agricultural Training Center.
But all those belong to the department?
Yes, they belong. They were bought at the same time. 8 tractors, new ones.
To the best of your knowledge, is there any contract, or do those departments pay?
They don't pay
for the
anything.
use of this equipment?
Honorable Chair, when a tractor or any other vehicle is given to another department, it is upon that department to service and even manage how it is being used. I am aware that there is no payment that is done by the administration to us. I'm aware that Kaimosi doesn't pay anything to use the county tractors, the 8 of them. But in any case, Kaimosi has their own tractors.
Maybe you can clarify that, Honorable Chair. You said they would use the 8 tractors without paying anything.
No, I'm saying we have, Honorable Chair, we have 8 tractors which are supposed to belong to the county department of agriculture.
For clarity and
yes.
for the record, what should be the arrangement?
I am not sure because I was not handed over tractors. Nobody handed over to me so that I could know the arrangement. Or now what happens, because the person who gives the tractor to another department is not the county agricultural engineer.
Okay,
The last, I wanted it to be clear, because I have heard the witness saying that I grounded the tractor. Was it a personal decision, or it was a departmental decision?
It was personal. When the Honorable Chair, when Engineer Shadrach left, I knew that the tractors now doesn't have. So I grounded them. I'm waiting for a fight for so that I can say why I grounded them. So the tractors, we have 5 of them in the office. Grounded ones are the ones in the office.
So you are confirming you are the one who, not a department decision?
Sometimes I may do something, and even if the department has done it, I wouldn't know. Because if I found a tractor today moving, it means somebody else who is not me has signed the work ticket. So if the chief officer signs or the director aggregate signs, it will not be me.
Chair, I wish to ask another question, a final question. Engineer, are you a team player?
Yes, I am a team player.
From the conversation, you seem to have problems with everybody.
When you are independent-minded, your chair, you will have problems with many people.
Okay. So
Honorable Bridget,
Through the chair.
be on the mic, please.
Through chair, I just want to ask engineer, since you became acting engineer, over those cattle dips that you have done with it, don't you see that it is a cash cow?
In my own definition, Chair, cash cow means there is somebody who is benefiting unjustly. Many cattle lives are done by youth. They don't give any kickback to anyone. I don't think it is a cash cow.
Because okay, through chair, because mostly cattle dips, they are not functional. You renovate and there is nothing going on.
Honorable Chair, I would wish that the other committee and the county assembly become friends of this engineer so that they can help guide, or even you can hire an engineer in this county assembly so that it will help in many of these. Cattle lives are very little, 300,000, 400,000 little man. There are other enormous projects which needs an engineer to guide the whole process. Yes, so.
Okay, maybe the issue is settled.
Go through the chair. So may I just ask engineer about Tarit Moi cattle dip. So you know I know very well, you know where the Tarit Moi cattle dip is built. And this is something that touches the two departments, departments of lands, environment, and the departments of agriculture. So for so many, for the last two renovations, I think as an engineer, you are at a better place now to advise the two departments on what to do about that cattle dip.
Honorable Chair, thank you, Honorable Sarah. There's something that had almost escaped my mind, but it is now, Honorable has jogged my mind. It is not only Tarit Moi cattle dip. Many other cattle dips. Many of these cattle dips were built using bricks over 30 years ago. We shall get leakages which are not repairable every year. One of them is Tarit Moi. The only thing that can be done, Tarit Moi, on my engineering perspective, is to relocate the cattle dip fast away from Kengwal River. I'm an environmental impact assessment specialist. That cattle dip is in the river. Fortunately, many years back, there was no environmental impact assessment to be done. Otherwise, as of now, we should not even continue renovating any cattle dip or building any near our water source. My honest opinion, Honorable Chair, to Honorable Madam Sarah, kindly let the issues for Mataget cattle dip be resolved so that we can renovate Mataget cattle dip, and the people of Tarit Moi would use that cattle dip. That is that is my fair judgment. Number two, renovation. If there is a leakage that will occur in any other cattle dip that was building using bricks, it is better we build a new cattle dip, because you will do plastering, shotcreting, reinforced plaster, but since the bricks are over 30 years old, they can no longer hold any water as an underground water structure.
Okay, give your final remarks.
My final remarks, thank you, Honorable Chair. I really thank this House. Not only the ad hoc, but the House that decided that this committee sits. And I'm very happy that I know for the next 3 or 4 years, if there is any monkey business that is going to cook, it will not cook again. Number two, kindly, the ad hoc committee and the county assembly help me get my 3 promotions which are pending. Job group L, job group M. I should be in job group N. Thirdly, let's help the county employ engineers. You cannot rely on one engineer to oversee the renovations of 180 cattle dips. You cannot rely on one engineer to oversee tractors. You cannot rely on one engineer to work in Kaimos. You cannot rely on the same engineer to overlook or to be the chair of the technical committee for the construction of Avocado Park House. Kindly give me more staff and promote me. Tell whoever is listening, one of the most poor engineers is me in the county because I have not been promoted 8 years. So next time you even see me in an hotel in town, kindly tell me Engineer Kulai. I really thank this committee. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Engineer Sagari. Maybe I will now take this opportunity on the behalf of the committee to thank you for the engagement that we have had together, and keeping it in mind that we also expect you to be here on Thursday. No, Narik is on Wednesday. So I think the Wednesday session will be the one with more engagements than today. Otherwise, may I wish you all the best on behalf of the committee.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. Thank you, honorable members. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Now I call upon the Sergeant at Arms to usher engineer out.